Hi there, welcome to Fix Your Broken English channel. We are students from University of Malaya, TIX 1002, Introduction of Sociolinguistics. In this video, we are going to talk about the differences between Manglish and Standard English. Besides that, we will also talk about the common pronunciation and vocabulary mistakes that Malaysians usually make. So, let us begin.
The views and opinions expressed in this video or comments on this channel are those of the speakers or authors and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters. Manglish is a pidgin that does not follow the grammatical rules or structure of English, but it is not wrong to speak Manglish. The idea of this video is just to show the difference between Manglish and Standard English to the community so that they can speak Standard English in the correct way when needed.
Here comes our first part in this video, Manglish versus Standard English. In this part, you'll get to know some of the slang words that we use in Manglish and compare to Standard English.
The word we can usually hear when people speaking Manglish is la. La is the ubiquitous word that often used at the end of a sentence. La is often written after a space for clarity without a pause before it. The expression of la is originated from Malay language. In Malay language, la is appended to the end of the word and it's not a separate word by itself. Malaysians can often tell you when la is used incorrectly, but they can't always tell you why. Even though la has a linguistic definition and its use has an internal consistency and structure, it is very much an intuitive word born out of the context in social situations. These are a few examples when la is applied. Firstly, la is often used with bruise, short, and negative responses. For example, I don't know already la. In Standard English, it means I don't know anymore. It is a brusque response to someone fumbling with an explanation, and it is made mostly by Chinese. Another example is, I don't have money lah. In Standard English, it means, I cannot lend you money. It is a brusque response to, can you lend me some money? Secondly, la is used for reassurance. For example, don't worry, he can do it one lah. In Standard English, it means, don't worry, he can get it done. Another example is, I help you lah. In Standard English, it means, I can help you with that. People use la to remove someone's doubts or fears. You will sound more convincing and the others will be at ease. And thirdly, la can be used to emphasize items in a spoken list. For example, they sell many things here. They have cakes lah, coffee lah, Western food lah, Asian food lah, etc. What I'm trying to say here is, the use of la is very informal. It is not suitable to be used in formal situations such as when you are presenting, when you are in a meeting, or when you are having a job interview. Therefore, you should stop using la in formal situations to sound more professional and stand out in a group of people. Another word you can usually hear when people speaking Manglish is meh. Meh is commonly used at the end of questions. It is usually used with a sense of confidence in his or her statement, but the hint of doubt towards the other person. For example, I like to eat coriander. Cannot meh? Meaning that, I like to eat coriander. What's wrong with that? Meh is actually a Cantonese origin. In Cantonese, meh is a particle that transforms statements into questions that indicate doubt or surprise. The most common situation to use meh is really meh or cannot meh. You can always see Malaysian using these two sentences after the other person said a statement.
The next word that we usually heard in Manglish is ah. Ah is derived from the Chinese expression. It is commonly used at the end of the sentences. Malaysians can often tell you when ah is used incorrectly, but they can't always tell you why. In Chinese, ah can be used either in front of the sentences or at the end of the sentences. Firstly, ah is used when asking a genuine question. For example, really ya. In standard English, it means for real, really? Or maybe in Manglish, people would say, why are you like that one, ah? In standard English, it means why are you being like that? The addition of are makes the sentences rhetorical. Next, are is also used when referring to a subject before making an usually negative comment. For example, my brother always disturbs me. In standard English, it means my brother always disturbs me. This is how are is used in Manglish, adding it behind the subject and make a negative comment after it. The next word that we usually heard in Manglish is ma. Ma is commonly used at the end of the sentences too. It is similar to the word la that we have mentioned earlier, but ma is stronger than la. Ma is a Chinese or Cantonese origin, but it is used widely by all races in Malaysia. In Chinese or Cantonese, people always use ma at the end of the sentences. Firstly, ma is used to add a tone of resignation to a statement. For example, this problem is just a small matter ma. In standard English, it means this problem is a small matter. Or maybe, in Manglish, people would say, sorry lah, I don't know ma. In standard English, it means, sorry, I didn't know about that. Besides that, ma is also used to emphasize a mere statement. For instance, I also know German ma. In standard English, it means he knows German. So do I. The next word that often used in Manglish is hor. It is also commonly used at the end of the sentences. It is originated from Cantonese. Hor is used when someone wants to make sure of something. Hor means right or aren't you in standard English. The first example of hor in Manglish is you will help me hor. In standard English means you will help me right. Hor is added in this situation because the person is not sure about his statement. So the person adds hor to get affirmation. In Manglish, we can say that, oh, yeah, hor. In standard English means, oh, yeah, you are right. In this case, hor is added to show realization to a statement. The use of me, ma, hor are also very informal. This is because that using me, ma, hor in the sentences are not grammatically correct. This only works in Manglish. Therefore, stop using these words in standard English or in formal situation.
The next word that are widely used by Malaysians is already. Malaysians always use already after a verb to represent it has happened instead of using past tense. Malaysians use already in many contexts that they have directly translated them from Malay or Chinese language. The first example is that I eat already or I already eat. In standard English, it means I have eaten already. The word eat should change to eaten because in this situation, the action eat has happened. It should be a past tense. In Malay language, people often say that saya sudah makan and directly translate to English language, I already eat, which is incorrect. Furthermore, there are examples of Manglish such as yesterday, I go to college already. In standard English, it means yesterday, I went to college. In Manglish, people only add already to represent that it has happened in the past instead of using past tense. The past tense of go is went. The next example is, I already threw the ball into the water. In standard English, it means I threw the ball into the water. Same as previous example, the word already is added in Manglish instead of using the past tense of throw, which is threw. The next slang phrase that is usually used in Manglish is or not. Or not is appended to the end of the sentence. It is commonly used by Malaysians instead of using do you at the beginning of the sentence. For example, you want to eat McDonald's or not? In Standard English, it means do you want to eat McDonald's? Another example in Manglish is you want this bag or not? In Standard English, it means do you want this bag?
Next, I'm going to teach you the correct way of pronouncing some English words that we as Malaysian tend to mispronounce and the common vocabulary mistakes that Malaysian tend to make.
As Malaysian, we tend to call this word mayonnaise. Mayonnaise. The correct pronunciation is mayonnaise. Mayonnaise. In Malaysia, we tend to call this word envelope. Envelope. The correct pronunciation is envelope. Envelope. Malaysian will put this word as 4-syllable. Vegetable. Vegetable. The correct pronunciation is vegetable. Vegetable. The most commonly used word right now. In Malaysia, we call this swab. Swab. But the correct pronunciation is swab. Swab. A famous mispronounced profession. In Malaysia, we call this plumber. Plumber. But the correct pronunciation is plumber. Plumber. Malaysian will pronounce this word as a 3-syllable. Wednesday. Wednesday. But the correct pronunciation is Wednesday. Wednesday. Many Malaysian will pronounce this word as smooth. Smooth. But the correct pronunciation is smooth. Smooth. In hotel, Malaysian calls this as suit. Suit. But the correct pronunciation for this word is sweet. Sweet.
So now moving on to the second part of the video. There are many common vocabulary mistakes that Malaysians tend to make. So first we are going to acknowledge which words they tend to mispronounce and get them confused with. Then we are going to teach you the definition of each word and how to use it in a sentence correctly. So the first two words we have are it's and its. So its has the meaning of it has or it is. For example, it's been getting warm lately, and its is the possessive form of it. Example, the kingdom has lost all its soldiers. Second, we have principal and principal. So principal is usually an adjective which refers to the main or most important. Example, one of the country's principal cities is Cairo. It could also be used as a noun to refer to the most senior or important person. For example, the school's principal is very strict. Now, secondly, we have principle, and it usually is used as a noun meaning the fundamental basis of a system of thought. Example, it is against my principles to smoke cigarettes. Thirdly, we have affect and effect. So affect is usually a verb. To affect something is to change or influence it. Example, the water cut affected many people. And as for effect, it is usually a noun. Effect is something that happens due to a cause. For example, the effect of the medicine takes a while.
Now we have complement and complement.
So to complement is to complete something or bring it to perfection. For example, her dress perfectly complements the shade of her eyes. And as for compliment, to compliment is to give praise. For example, David always compliments girls who wear dresses.
And now we have brought and bought.
So brought is the past tense of buy. Example, I bought a new pair of glasses last week. And as for brought, it is the past tense of bring. For example, I brought her a glass of water.
So last one, desert and dessert.
So desert may be pronounced in two ways. When the first syllable is stressed, as in desert, it is a noun or an adjective meaning a dry or a desolate area. For example, the desert is really cold at night. Now, when we pronounce it as desert, it means to abandon or leave someone. For example, this building is deserted. Now, as for dessert, it is the sweet course of a meal that is usually eaten at the end of the meal. For example, Mila's favorite dessert is chocolate cake.
Thanks for watching our video. If you like our video, do thumbs up our video and share it to your friends. Thank you and have a nice day.